This episode was brought to you by Money is God, the best urban crime novel in America, available at ballbossmedia.com and all other digital media purchasing platforms.
Welcome to the Not Ordinary, Extraordinary podcast hosted by Brian Harrison.
And I wanted to talk about, my recovery and also like my faults that I've had in addiction. And, one of the major things that I dealt with was syrup, Percocets, and Xannies, and how I lost days at a time, and I didn't know where I was at. And sometimes I think I told you about the conversation that I had with Tia when she was grinding me up about how bad I was doing, and I'm coming in the house from the emergency room, and I was telling her how I wasn't in the emergency room, and she said, well, what's that on your arm? And I looked down on my arm, and I had the emergency room band on my arm with discharge papers in my back pocket. And that's how bad that I was on the syrup. I didn't realize the places I was at. When I got home, actually I woke up on the couch, and I thought I had a dream about me being in the emergency room saying, get the fuck off me, get off me. And the doctor saying, no, let him go. When she said, well, what's that on your arm? And I looked down at my arm, and I had the bracelet from the emergency room on my arm. I was like, oh, snap. That wasn't a dream. That really was me.
Yeah, ain't no question.
Do you got anything to say about, the syrup and the Percocets or the Xannies, or, about you losing time or anything like that?
Yeah, I had days. I had days of that shit. Like plenty of times I came around you and you told me it was Friday and I swore it was Thursday. Like, I literally would have killed somebody if they tried to convince me it was Friday. I thought you was playing like a practical joke on me, because I really don't remember Thursday at all, the whole day. But I OD'd one time. So I had the hospital joint, but I remember my hospital joint. I OD'd one time. I was off syrup and like Valiums and Xannies. I wasn't on perks back then. So this was like 93, 94. My nigga, I woke up in the hospital with a tube in my nose going down my throat into my stomach. They was pumping my stomach with charcoal and a tube in my dick. Like I thought I was in hell. Like literally I thought I died and woke up and I was in hell, because in the hospital, the bright ass hospital lights in the emergency room. And then I looked down and my mom was holding on to my foot. So I was already, they did what they had to do, whatever. I was already recovering when I was stabilized. So my mom was holding on to my foot, and when I woke up, when I came to, she like looked at me, crying. She had tears in her eyes, looked at me, and then just like shoved my foot and left. Like she was like making sure I was okay. She was pissed off that I OD'd. Like, and when I went to a chick named Kalia I used to fuck with. Been my homie since I was like 11 years old. Little pretty joint, real ratchet ass joint though. She hood and shit. She swears she classy, but she she took me to a crib. And in her crib, I'm shitting black shit from the charcoal. Like her whole toilet is full of charcoal from them pumping my stomach. So in my head, I'm like the catheter in my dick, the tube down my nose, all this shit, all these uncomfortable feelings, like my body being invaded. I said, damn, I'm a fucking drug addict. Like that was the time I recognized I wasn't a fucking thorough hood nigga, get high artist. Like we used to think. I remember when I was locked up in the state, that first bid I did upstate for 5 years. Y'all was sending me pictures from New Orleans. Y'all was doing the show in New Orleans, and when you was 100X and all that. And y'all was like, you was talking to me on the phone. You was like, yeah, you got the flicks. You was like, yeah, we was with the boys, Mob Deep and all that. Niggas think they can get higher than us. They can't get higher than us. And I reflect on conversations like that was the shit to like see who could get the most high and see who pass out. And then I like related to like the white boys in college and hazing, and they getting super drunk and they think they're super thorough and motherfuckers was dying from it, and they on TV getting charged with manslaughter because they trying to hide it, and all these Lifetime movies made about it. I'm like, damn, niggas in the hood was doing the same shit, and it's like we really think that was through like, oh, nigga, you can't handle your liquor. When you drink until you passing out drunk, you keep doing shot after shot after shot. You're literally giving yourself alcohol poisoning. Like,
I was having a conversation.
My nigga.
I was having a conversation with my son just yesterday, and I said, I didn't have guidance from my father, and a lot of things that I thought was masculine, I learned from the streets. I thought that if I could drink more 40s than you, I was being more masculine. If I could be more violent than you, then I was being more masculine. And I said, in all actuality, I didn't know how to become a man. And I was learning how to become a man by the street. And a lot of the people that I was around in the streets who I thought was cool was really stupid. So sometimes I thought I was around the cool guys, but I was around the dumb guys. Because, you know, cats like me and you, we had talent. You know, we was blessed with good physical health. And, you know, I didn't really start realizing that I was following the wrong path until I started buying houses. You know, I remember when I bought my first house, you was like, damn, stop, you got a house, I'm proud of you. Remember that?
Right, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was some real shit. Yeah, that was some grown-up shit, you hear me? That was some grown man shit. To me, living with a chick, renting an apartment, that was, you know, I thought it was a man time. When I seen the house, I said, my man I said, oh, shit, I'm a kid. Like, I was fucked up, yeah.
I mean, it was all, you know, and I learned that from my boy California Mike's older brother.
Yeah.
He always used to say, man, my brother Tone this, my brother Tone that, my brother Tone bought another house, my brother Tone bought another house. And me and California Mike, we used to ride our bikes around the city all night long and look at real estate and the faces of bricks. And he could tell me, you know, before you go in the house, you can tell if the house is good or not by just looking at the face of the brick. Well, anyway, we would be riding around all night. One reason because we'd be smoking dust all night long.
You know.
While we getting high, you know, he'd be talking about real estate and his brother Tone and this and that and the other. Well, what made me make a move was one day California Mike was like, yo, come up to my new house. I just bought a house. And I went to the house. It was a shell. You know, it didn't have a door on it. He got it for like $3,500. It didn't have no windows in it, but it was a house and it was his. He owned it. He didn't have a mortgage or nothing. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm going to get some windows. I'm going to get a door. And I was like, you bought a house? He said, man, I bought this house, man. I bought this house, man. My lawyer sent me a check, man. I bought this house. And I'm like, damn, you really bought a house. Like, you know, people talk about what they're going to do, but they don't really do what they say they was going to do. And when I saw him physically buy a house, and I'm like, damn, I smoke dumps with this nigga. If he can buy a house, I'm going to buy a house next. And that's what set me up to buying a house. And that's what I was telling my son. Really surround yourself with people that are making moves because they got this thing that says, if you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And I didn't realize that. And, you know, I went from, like, remember when you said our last conversation, like, when you went into your crime mode, you went heavy into it, but you didn't stay there forever. Sometimes you would be working, man. Sometimes you'd be on the hustle tip, this and that and the other. And that's the same thing for me. Sometimes I'd be on the hustle tip. Sometimes I'd be on the work tip. Sometimes I'd be with my uptown friends. That's a whole different vibe. Sometimes I'd be with my downtown friends. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling my son, like, surround yourself with people that's making moves because the only reason that I bought that house was because we was both influenced by California Mike's older brother. And then when I saw my boy buy a house, I was like, okay, I can buy a house. And that was all, that all came from who I surrounded myself with.
I already know. Yeah, my man said that to me in here a couple years ago. He was like, man, he said a lot of these niggas, he said,
you have 1 minute left.
3/4 of the person you are is the motherfuckers you're around. Like he said, show me the motherfuckers you're around, and I could basically tell you who you are for the most part. And when I reflected on the type of motherfuckers that I really love and like really got my heart, it's a true statement. Like because my family is a I'm a reflection of my family. I'm also a reflection of my friends, and I'm a reflection of the good and bad in my friends. The things is the good quality and the redemptive qualities about y'all. All that shit is in me, and most of my friends is working, responsible dudes and family-oriented, and yet they got a street side to them. It's just that I was more extreme with the street side than most of my friends, and I would take it there when they would like be like, okay, we going extreme, like let's chill, you know what I'm saying? And that was always my problem is that I would go too extreme with him. Hey, listen, I get back on the phone in a half hour. You still gonna be there?
I'm gonna be on my way to work, but you can try it.
Yeah, what's the time? Is it 1:30?
Thank you for using
1:35. Yeah, 2.
Goodbye.